everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is March the 16th, 2021, and today the topic is actually untitled. I woke up this morning at 2:20. Yes, 2:20 a.m. I kind of woke up with a disturbing dream, a little bit disturbing at least. I guess I should share it. Well, I don't remember everything. I just remember there being some type of issue regarding, I'll just say it. They were like regarding me and Allie. Okay. Now I was watching her live videos last night and everything like that. And she mentioned wanting someone to, I guess, go live with today and interview or whatever the case is. And so I offered, again, last night or whatever the case is, I offered. But I don't know if that's why I had the dream. I don't know. But anyway, again, without going all into the I just remember it being some type of issue from the last time. And which there was, and I think I shared it with those of you guys that listen, some of the persecution that I was getting on both ends, people that, the 90s and the 10s, I'll just keep it at the description the way it is in real life or whatever the case is. So, I don't know if there's an issue or if Allie has an issue with me in real life or whatever the case is, but there was some type of issue in the dream. So either way though, I still, show my love and support towards them. And, but I think, so that leads me to a word that came into my heart and mind this morning was misunderstood. And this is something I've actually been reflecting on the past couple of days. I know I've talked to my husband about it, and I've talked to my mentor about it. I feel like there's been several times in my life that things, like I would be planning things with people, or I would be working with people, or I'd be trying to help someone, or trying to encourage them, or trying to inspire them, whatever the case is. Like I would be out here trying to collaborate with others, and then things just wouldn't go the way as planned, or they would go as planned, but then the other person wouldn't be involved. It would be me just doing whatever I need to do to keep it going. Now, like I said, this happened several times throughout my life. So, and a lot of times, again, like, yeah, okay, it's easy to just point the finger at somebody else, right? It's easy to just be like, oh, it's that person's fault that they weren't involved, or whatever the case is. But for me, I tend to reflect on both aspects. I'm like, okay, I know what happened, and I know what the individual did in the situation. But at the same time, too, I look at myself, and I'm like, hey, okay, could I have done something different, or am I looking at this the wrong way, or try to see the other person's perspective, right? And so that's why I end up having conversations, like I said, with my husband, with my mentor, another dear friend of mine as well, a couple more other people that I kind of just talk to about like everything, and just to make sure that I'm not missing something, you know what I mean? Or that I'm just being in my own mind, or, because at the end of the day, again, there's, like they say, there's two sides to a story, and then there's the truth, right? So, again, I can have my side, they can have their side, and then what actually is what it is, or whatever the case is. And so, but that's me. That's how I tend to look at situations, and that's how I tend to handle situations. So like I said, with me going through the same type of things, I'm like, well, Lord, what are you trying to show me about this? And what do you want me to do and receive or get from this? Because on one hand, I feel like, okay, well, maybe I was kind of like, all right, put in places where I won't get into, like I said, this happened several times. So I don't want to get into like particular details because it deals with other people. And I mean, obviously, it's not their podcast, you know what I mean? They're not here to defend themselves or whatever the case is. And so I don't want to get into like specifics. But yeah, so basically, the word misunderstood came into my heart and mind this morning. And again, I don't know if it was a reflection of the dream or what, but they seem to go a little bit hand in hand now that I'm saying it out loud. But anyway, so I started to look up verses centered around misunderstood and then the word misunderstanding. And then I came across this. It's like two good chunks, two verses, but it's good chunks of verses. But I don't know if they necessarily had something to do with being misunderstood. But they stood out to me, and they went well together. That I guess I just was led to share them with you all today. And we'll see. So that's why I named it. That's why I kept it untitled, because I'm not sure if misunderstood fits the title or the episode or the conversation of today, because of these verses isn't necessarily. But I don't know, y'all. Maybe we'll see if it fits at the end, and I'll switch it from untitled to misunderstood. If not, I'll keep it untitled. But either way, here we go. So the two sections that stood out to me this morning was Romans 2:1 through 29, as well as Ephesians 4:1 through 32. Again, I mean, these are good chunks, but I'm gonna read them, and we'll see. We'll see what happens from there. So here we go. Romans 2:1 through 29 says, "Therefore you have no excuse, O man, every one of you who judges. For in passing judgment on another, you condemn yourself, because you, the judge, practice the very same things. We know that the judgment of God rightly falls on those who practice such things. Do you suppose, O man, you who judge those who practice such things and yet do them yourself, that you will escape the judgment of God? Or do you presume on the riches of his kindness and forbearance and patience, not knowing that God's kindness is meant to lead you to repentance? But because of your hard and impenitent heart, you are storing up wrath for yourself on the day of wrath, when God's righteous judgment will be revealed." So that was the first thing that stood out to me, the first section there. And I mean, there's a lot of things obviously in there that can, I mean, help and bless us today. I would say like the verses that stood out the most, or the sentences in this, let me see. Let's see. It says the judgment of God. Do you suppose, oh man, you who judge those who practice such things and yet do them yourselves, that you will escape the judgment of God? And then the one down here that says, or do you presume on the riches of his kindness and forbearance and patience, not knowing that God's kindness is meant to lead you to repentance? I mean, this might be good for all nobody can judge me. Like this is great for you. This whole section here. This is what your whole stance is on, right? Nobody can judge you, X, Y, and Z. y'all know, I mean, like I said, we had a whole conversation in the previous juice about this whole judgment aspect. I mean, there is righteous judgment. Christians can't, there is a certain judgment that can happen. But however, if we focus on what it's saying today in this section here, it is saying to, be careful about judging others, be careful about, especially when you're doing the same thing. And, because perhaps this is a good time to chat about it. Because, I would say over the past few days, as at least in the Christian community, I'm sure everybody has heard about the whole Kurt Franklin thing. I have not listened to the audio. I've seen many posts about it. And people commenting on it, X, Y, and Z. Obviously, again, I haven't commented on it because I haven't heard it. But I'm reminded of it in this moment of reading this. And perhaps this is why there is so much like people that's like, oh, we're not going to cancel Kirk, X, Y, and Z. Because at the end of the day, they know that they're doing the same things, honestly. And we've had a whole conversation about like cursing Christians and all that stuff. Again, I'm not here to judge nobody either about the situation. Or whatever. I'm just saying that I'm I'm reminded of it in this moment. So perhaps this is a good message for this moment, for anyone that. But see, this goes for everything too, because the same people that say like, "Oh no, we're not canceling Kirk," is the same ones that'll be like, "Oh, judging any other aspect." It's just. As people say, it's the X, Y, and Z for me. So in this case, it's the hypocrisy for me, because we're quick to judge one thing over another, or things that we are cool with versus things that we're not cool with. And so that's the thing. It's like finding that biblical balance is what we probably should do in these type of situations. And praying for people, you know what I mean? Praying for people and everything like that. I don't know why this stood out to me this morning. Because again, I was looking up misunderstood. However, I feel like it's timely. I feel like, again, like the fact that, like I said, that verse that stood out the most, the whole idea of, God's kindness and forbearance, all these things. It's meant for our repentance, and we're taking advantage of that. We're thinking lightly of that when that's a huge thing. At the end of the day, that's what's going to get you condemned. That's what's going, when the righteous judgment of God is revealed, that on the day of wrath, like this is what's being piled up against you. I don't know, just something to think about and let marinate today. Now, at the end of this verse, when it says judgment will be revealed, there's ... So obviously it continues. So you guys can go deeper with that on your own and check it out if you are so inclined to do. But yeah, so let's check out this next section, Ephesians 4:1-32. It says, I therefore, a prisoner for the Lord, urge you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling to which you have been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, be something with one another in love. Bearing. I separated the word bearing. I'm sorry. That's why I was like, be what? Okay. Bearing with one another in love. Eager to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to one hope that belongs to your call. One Lord, one faith, one baptism. Yeah, I think that first part of that section is what stood out to me the most in it. The whole idea of being called to humility and gentleness and patience and bearing with one another in love. At the end of the day, it's like, I know I kind of was speaking on it last Friday when I was speaking with Miss Jody, and the whole thing is like, it's the golden rule, y'all. Doing unto others as we want people to do unto us. Really just putting that into play. That's really what it is. It's like, we all know that we all would love to have people be more gentle with us, patient with us, loving to us, all these different things. And so we should do those same things to others. That's what stood out the most to me in that section. I thought that those meshed really well, putting those two together. So that's all I have in regards to verses. For the Go Deeper section, if you guys want to just marinate on those verses, check them out. See if the Lord leads you to go deeper and read the rest of the chapters, whatever the case is. Maybe, you'll feel led to read the whole Romans 2. I don't know. Or the whole Ephesians 4. I don't know. But, that's up to you and everything like that. Also, you can feel free to look up 220. Google Bible in 220 and see the verse that popped up for that if you're so inclined to do. But yeah, that's the go deeper section for today. Is just reflecting on those verses, and again, if you find whatever it is when it comes to this whole being misunderstood thing, and then this whole judging thing, and whatever that is that's bringing those two together this morning, then perhaps you all will it will make sense to you, whoever you are listening to the sound of my voice this morning. So the Bible verse of today is James 1:12. It says, "Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he will receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him." Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. If you like what you hear, then consider supporting our podcast. Every listener that supports us for $9.99 a month will be entered into our monthly raffle for a chance to win a free gift. So become a supporter today.